This is the Poker Iceberg, an exploration of poker and all of its lore. Poker is a very popular game, but many don't know the history of it. If you're unfamiliar with Iceberg videos, it covers controversial topics, going from more widely known all the way down to the bottom tiers where it's a little bit less likely known. In this video, we'll explore much of poker's history. Of course, many things will be left out, but this will cover a lot of the major stories, both good and bad. With that being said, let's get started. Tier 1. The Moneymaker Effect. 2003 was a turning point in poker history, all thanks to one man, Chris Moneymaker. A 27-year-old accountant from Tennessee, Moneymaker was an amateur who played online in his spare time. For just $86, he entered an online satellite tournament that awarded seats to the $10,000 WSOP Main Event in Las Vegas. Ironically, Moneymaker didn't even want the main event seat. In an interview with CNN, he recalled aiming for the $8,000 cash prize awarded to fourth place. But after winning this seat, thanks to a friend's encouragement, he decided to take a shot. At the time, poker wasn't the global phenom it is today. Poker rooms were closing, and televised poker lacked excitement, often missing key elements like commentary and the ability to see players' hole cards. That changed with the introduction of the hole cam in 2002, which returned in 2003 and revolutionized how audiences engaged with the game. Entering the main event, Moneymaker battled through the ranks, making bold bluffs and knocking out legends like Johnny Chan and Phil Ivey. He eventually found himself heads up against seasoned pro Sammy Farha. In a pivotal hand, Moneymaker executed a massive bluff with nothing but king high, pushing Farha off a better hand and swinging the momentum in his favor. Shortly after, Moneymaker sealed the deal, turning his $86 investment into $2.5 million and becoming a 2003 World Series of Poker champion. But the real impact was just beginning. Moneymaker's victory ignited the Moneymaker Effect, sparking a global poker boom. Suddenly, anyone with an internet connection and a dream felt they could be the next champion. Online poker sites exploded in popularity, and televised poker became must-watch TV, with major networks airing tournaments worldwide. Moneymaker's win transformed poker from a niche game into a global phenomenon, proving that with the right hand and a little courage, anyone could become a champion. Because on that day, it wasn't just Chris Moneymaker who won, it was poker itself. Big poker names: Phil Ivey, Negreanu, and Phil Hellmuth. While the Moneymaker Effect brought poker to the masses, legends like Phil Ivey, Negreanu, and Phil Hellmuth have kept us captivated. Phil Ivey, often called the Tiger Woods of poker, is renowned for his stoic demeanor and uncanny instincts. With 10 WSOP bracelets and a reputation for crushing high-stakes games, Ivey is considered one of the best all-around players ever. His ability to read opponents and make extraordinary plays have left both players and fans in awe. Negreanu. Known as Kid Poker, he is famous for his outgoing personality and incredible hand-reading skills. With 6 WSOP bracelets and over $42 million in live tournament earnings, he's one of the game's most successful players. Negreanu's knack for calling out opponents' exact hands have made him a fan favorite and a fantastic ambassador for poker. Phil Hellmuth. The Poker Brat holds a record for 17 WSOP bracelets, the most in history. Known for his emotional outbursts and fiery temperament, Hellmuth is as entertaining as he is skilled. His longevity and success at the WSOP are unparalleled, and he continues to be a formidable force on the felt. These three icons have not only achieved personal greatness, but have also shaped poker's evolution, inspiring countless players to chase their own dreams. The World Series of Poker Main Event. The World Series of Poker Main Event is the crown jewel of poker tournaments. A $10,000 buy-in, no-limit Texas Hold'em showdown that crowns the world champion of poker. Starting in 1970 as a small gathering of pros, the main event has grown into a global spectacle, attracting thousands of players from all walks of life. It's the ultimate test of skill, endurance, and mental fortitude, with players battling through grueling days for a shot at poker immortality. The main event has been the stage for some of poker's most iconic moments and champions. Amarillo Slim in 1972 helped bring poker into the mainstream. Phil Hellmuth became the youngest champion in 1989, a record at the time. Chris Moneymaker's 2003 win ignited the poker boom. What makes the main event special is its openness. Anyone with a buy-in or satellite win can compete, making it the ultimate meritocracy. It's where dreams are realized and legends are born. Doyle Brunson's 10-2 hand. No poker legend is more revered than Doyle Brunson, the godfather of poker. His storied career includes a remarkable feat, winning back-to-back WSOP main events in 1976 and 1977, both times with the hand 10-deuce. In 1976, Brunson defeated Jesse Alto when his 10-deuce made a full house on the river. In 1977, he repeated the miracle against Gary Bones Burland, once again turning 10-deuce into a championship hand. This improbable achievement cemented 10-deuce as the Doyle Brunson hand. It's a testament to his skill and a reminder that in poker, any hand can be a winner with the right play. Brunson's impact goes beyond a single hand. With 10 WSOP bracelets, and as the author of Super System, one of the most influential poker strategy books ever, he's shaped the game for generations. Even into his 80s, Brunson remained a force in high-stakes games, embodying the spirit and longevity that make poker so compelling. And then in May of 2023, Doyle had passed away at the age of 89. While Doyle may no longer be here with us, his legacy and the 10-deuce hand will be here forever. The Poker Hall of Fame. No exploration of poker's history is complete without mentioning the Poker Hall of Fame, the ultimate honor for those who've left a mark on the game. Established in 1979 by Benny Binion, the founder of the World Series of Poker, the Hall of Fame recognizes the most influential players and contributors who have shaped poker into what it is today. The Poker Hall of Fame serves as a lasting tribute to the game's greatest figures. Inductees are celebrated for their exceptional skill, longevity, and significant contributions to poker's growth and success. Some of the most renowned members include Doyle Brunson, the godfather of poker with 10 WSOP bracelets and the author of Super System; Phil Hellmuth, record holder with 17 WSOP bracelets; Stu Ungar, a prodigy who won the WSOP Main Event 3 times; Johnny Moss, a 3-time WSOP champion and one of the game's early icons; Barbara Enright, the first woman inducted, recognized for her trailblazing achievements. To be inducted into the Poker Hall of Fame, a player must have played poker against acknowledged top competition, be at least 40 years old at the time of nomination, played for high stakes, played consistently well, gaining the respect of peers, and stood the test of time. For non-players, they must have significantly contributed to the overall growth and success of poker with lasting positive results. Being inducted into the Hall of Fame is one of the highest honors in poker, a recognition of a lifetime of achievement and influence. It not only cements a player's legacy, but also inspires future generations to strive for excellence. The Hall of Fame highlights the rich history of poker, honoring those who've elevated the game through their skill, character, and dedication. The movie Rounders. In 1998, the film Rounders hit theaters, and while it didn't make a massive splash at the box office, it has since become a cult classic in the poker world. Rounders tells the story of Mike McDermott, played by Matt Damon, a law student and talented poker player who returns to the underground poker scene to help his friend Worm pay off a substantial debt. The film offers an authentic glimpse into the high-stakes world of poker, capturing the game's strategic depth and psychological intricacies. A lot of things make Rounders a cult classic among poker enthusiasts, but here's a short list as to why. Its authentic portrayal. The movie delves deep into poker strategy, table dynamics, and the mindset of a professional player, resonating with those who appreciate the game's complexities. Its memorable characters and quotes. Lines like, "If you can't spot the sucker in the first half hour at the table, then you are the sucker," have become part of poker vernacular. Characters like Teddy KGB, played by John Malkovich, have become iconic within the community. Further, it's inspiration for players. Many of today's professional poker players cite Rounders as a significant influence on their decision to pursue the game seriously. It sparked interest and passion in a new generation of players. Lastly, its cultural impact. The film helped pave the way for the poker boom of the early 2000s by bringing the game into mainstream consciousness and highlighting its appeal as a skill-based endeavor. Rounders captures the allure and drama of poker, not just as a game of chance, but as a battle of wits and nerve. Its enduring popularity is a testament to the impact on poker culture, solidifying its place as a beloved classic that continues to inspire and entertain poker fans around the world. Tier 2. The evolution of poker broadcasting. As poker continues to grow, so does the ways we consume it. The early 2000s saw televised poker become a staple on networks, but the real revolution came with the rise of live stream poker content, bringing the action directly to viewers around the world. Live at the Bike debuted in 2005, offering the first ever live stream of a cash game from the Bicycle Casino in Los Angeles. It brought real-time poker action directly to viewers, complete with hole cards and commentary. This was groundbreaking. Fans could now watch unedited poker, learning strategies, and seeing the dynamics of a live game unfold. Live at the Bike allowed viewers to see every hand, learn from commentary, and engage with the community. They had unfiltered access to every hand played, not just highlights. Expert commentators broke down strategies in real time. All of this allowed fans to discuss hands and strategies, fostering a communal learning environment. This platform set the stage for the future of poker broadcasting, making the game more accessible and engaging. Fast forward to the 2010s, and platforms like Twitch entered the scene. Players like Jason Somerville and Lex Veldhouse began streaming their online poker sessions, interacting with fans in real time. This not only provided entertainment, but also education, as viewers could get inside the minds of top players. Twitch transformed poker broadcasting by creating interactive experiences, showcasing online play, and building personal brands. Twitch turned poker into a communal experience, expanding its reach to a younger, tech-savvy audience, and keeping the game relevant in the digital age. In recent years, Hustler Casino Live has become a significant force in poker broadcasting. Launched in 2021, the Livestream Cash Game Show is a broadcast from the Hustler Casino in Los Angeles. It features high-stakes games with a mix of poker pros, celebrities, and wealthy amateurs, offering viewers a thrilling and unpredictable experience. What sets Hustler Casino Live apart is high production quality, star-studded lineups, and viral moments. Hustler Casino Live provides professional-grade streaming with multiple camera angles and high-definition visuals, regular appearances by well-known players like Garrett Aldenstein, Phil Hellmuth, and even celebrities from other industries. And the show has produced several viral hands and dramatic confrontations that have sparked discussions across the poker world. One of the most talked about moments was the controversial hand between Robbie Jade Liu and Garrett Adelstein, which garnered massive attention and debate within the community, but we'll touch on that later. Hustler Casino Live has revitalized interest in live poker streams by combining entertainment with high-stakes action, making it a must-watch for fans worldwide. Down in Texas, the Lodge Card Club has been making waves in poker broadcasting as well. Located in Round Rock and co-owned by poker personalities Brad Owen, Andrew Nemi, and Doug Polk, the Lodge has become a hub for live stream poker in the Texas poker scene. Key features of the Lodge broadcasts are deep stack cash games, community engagement, and educational content. Showcasing the uniquely large stacks and aggressive playstyle that Texas poker is known for, incorporating local players and building a grassroots following, streams often include strategic insights, appealing to the players looking to improve their game. The Lodge streams have helped highlight the explosive growth of poker in Texas, bringing attention to a new hotspot in the poker world. Their approach combines professional production with the authentic atmosphere of a local card room. These platforms, Lav the Bike, Twitch, Hustler Casino Live, and the Lodge Card Club, have democratized poker content, allowing anyone with an internet connection to watch, learn, and engage with the game like never before. They've contributed to global accessibility. Fans around the world can experience live poker action. New personalities emerging. Streamers and players have built personal brands, adding fresh faces to the poker scene. Educational opportunities. Aspiring players can learn from pros, accelerating their development. By embracing technology and innovative broadcasting methods, these platforms have kept poker relevant and exciting, adapting to the changing media consumption habits and fostering a more inclusive and engaged community. The online poker boom. The Moneymaker Effect ignited the online poker boom, and at the forefront were platforms like PokerStars and Full Tilt Poker. These sites became the virtual playgrounds for millions of players worldwide. PokerStars capitalized on Moneymaker's win, promoting satellite tournaments that gave everyday players a shot at big-time glory. They invested heavily in software, security, and customer service, quickly becoming the world's largest online poker site. Full Tilt Poker differentiated itself with a focus on high-stakes games, and by featuring sponsored pros like Phil Ivey, Tom Dwan, and Howard Lederer. Their slogan, "Learn, chat, and play with the pros," encapsulated their appeal. Competition between these sites fueled innovation and growth in the online poker industry. They offered lucrative promotions, cutting-edge features, and a variety of game formats, making online poker more accessible and exciting than ever. High Stakes Poker TV show. In 2006, High Stakes Poker premiered on the Game Show Network, and it was a game changer. Unlike tournament poker shows, this program focused on high-stakes cash games, featuring some of the biggest names in poker playing with their own money. The show brought together legends like Doyle Brunson, Phil Hellmuth, Daniel Negreanu, and newcomers like Tom Dwan. Viewers were treated to massive pots, intense bluffs, and candid table talk that revealed the personalities behind the players. High Stakes Poker offered an unfiltered look at the world of nosebleed cash games, captivating audiences and adding a new dimension to televised poker. Further, it paved the way for the live stream games that we watch today. Black Friday. Now let's dive into one of the most significant and tumultuous events in poker history, Black Friday. April 15th, 2011, a date that sent shockwaves through the poker world. On this day, the U.S. Department of Justice unsealed indictments against the three largest online poker sites accessible to U.S. players, PokerStars, Full Tilt Poker, and Absolute Poker/Ultimate Bet. The charges included bank fraud, money laundering, and illegal gambling offenses. Players logging in that day were met with ominous notices, stating that the domains had been seized by the FBI. Panic ensued as millions of dollars were effectively frozen. For many, this wasn't just recreational money, it was their livelihood. The government alleged that these sites had been deceiving banks to process payments, disguising poker transactions as other types of purchases to circumvent the Unlawful Internet Gambling Enforcement Act of 2006. Furthermore, executives were accused of funneling player deposits to cover operational expenses and, in some cases, personal enrichment. While all sites were affected, Full Tilt Poker faced the most severe fallout. It was later revealed that they didn't have sufficient funds to cover player balances. According to the DOJ, Full Tilt had turned into a global Ponzi scheme, owing players around $390 million while only having $60 million in the bank. Key figures like Howard Lederer, Chris Ferguson, and Ray Bitar were thrust into the spotlight, accused of mismanaging funds and betraying the trust of players worldwide. Thousands of players were left in limbo, unable to access their funds. For professional players, this was a financial catastrophe. Bankrolls that took years to build were suddenly out of reach. The online poker community was devastated. Forums and social media exploded with outrage, fear, and uncertainty. Would players ever see their money again? What did this mean for the future of online poker in the US? PokerStars acted swiftly. They entered into an agreement with the DOJ, admitting no wrongdoing but agreeing to pay a hefty fine and exit the US market. Crucially, they prioritized repaying US players, restoring balances, and earning some goodwill. Full Tilt Poker wasn't as fortunate. It took until 2012 for a resolution, when PokerStars acquired Full Tilt's assets as a part of a settlement with the DOJ. The deal included provisions to pay back Full Tilt's players, a process that extended over several years. Absolute Poker / Ultimate Bet essentially collapsed, and many players never recovered their funds. Black Friday prompted a reevaluation of online gambling laws in the US. States like Nevada, New Jersey, and Delaware moved towards legalizing and regulating online poker with their borders, seeking to provide safe and legal options for players. The incident also led to discussions about the need for federal regulation to prevent such a debacle from happening again and to protect players' funds. Internationally, the online poker landscape shifted. Sites had to adapt to new regulations and rebuild trust with players. The industry became more fragmented, with different regions having varying access and rules. Black Friday was a stark reminder of the vulnerabilities in unregulated online poker. It disrupted lives, tarnished reputations, and reshaped the industry. However, from the ashes came lessons and reforms. The emphasis on player fund segregation, regulatory oversight, and transparent operations became paramount. For players, it was a wake-up call about the importance of understanding where and how they play. It also galvanized a community effort to advocate for legal and regulated online poker. Black Friday was a dark day in poker history, but it also marked a turning point. It exposed flaws that needed addressing and set the stage for a more secure and regulated environment. Today, while challenges remain, the industry has made strides toward transparency and player protection. The echoes of Black Friday serve as both a cautionary tale and a catalyst for positive change in the poker world. Antonio Esfandiari's big 1-for-1 win. In 2012, the poker world witnessed one of the most remarkable events, the big 1-for-1 drop, a tournament with a staggering $1 million buy-in. Organized by the WSOP and philanthropist Guy Laliberté, the event aimed to raise funds for the One Drop Foundation, which focuses on providing access to clean water worldwide. Antonio Esfandiari, known as the Magician, outlasted 47 other entrants, including some of the biggest names in poker and wealthy businessmen. His victory earned him a record-breaking $18.3 million, the largest single payout in poker tournament history at the time. Esfandiari's win wasn't just about the money. It elevated his status in the poker community and brought significant attention to charitable causes within the industry. The event blended high-stakes competition with philanthropy, showcasing poker's potential for positive impact. The Big Game. The Big Game was a televised poker show that aired from 2010 to 2011, featuring a unique format where amateur players, dubbed loose cannons, were staked $100,000 to compete against seasoned pros. The loose cannons kept any profit over the initial stake, offering them a chance to win life-changing money. The show included stars like Daniel Negreanu, Tony G, Phil Hellmuth, and plenty more, providing entertaining table talk and high-level play. One of the most memorable moments from the show was when loose cannon Massimiliano Martinez walked away with over $163,000 in profits. One of my personal favorite moments, and a lot of other people's, this hand between Tony G and Phil Hellmuth.
Without looking?
Without looking.
Tony repots it with ace-king.
You slow down. You slow down a bit. You got to save the rest.
Not if he believes you haven't looked.
It's hard to believe that you always have a hand against me.
Look, you could see the flop and get rid of it as well. I'm not looking. I haven't looked. I don't care. I know it's a random hand, and I got a random hand.
Wow, all that talking makes me think he's strong. I was for sure going to call before that.
He's saying he hasn't looked, though.
He most certainly looked. Did no one see him?
He's saying you didn't look?
Yeah, you wouldn't lie, Tony, would you?
I wouldn't lie. You can
There
check
you go.
my hand if you want. You can tell him the truth.
You didn't look at either card.
I haven't looked.
You promise?
Ask Joe. I mean, I haven't
I
looked.
can't say anything, but
I'm not going to look.
it's between you and Phil.
Did you look at your cards at all? I mean, it's...
Look, the people at home know I haven't looked. Joe's looked at my
if
hand.
you haven't looked, it's kind of an easy decision for me here.
We can run it 10 times as well.
Well, if you haven't looked, I guess I'll just move in.
Phil ships and Tony calls.
I did. All right, you're close. You're up there.
Oh, you lied.
Of course I lied. It's poker, Phil. What do you think this is?
The Big Game highlighted the aspirational aspect of poker where amateurs could challenge the pros and sometimes come out on top. Phil Ivey's edge sorting controversy. Even the greats aren't without controversy. Phil Ivey, one of the most respected figures in poker, found himself in legal battles over a technique called edge sorting. In 2012, Ivey won 7.7 million euros playing Punto Banco, a form of Baccarat, at Crockford's Casino in London. He used edge sorting to identify slight imperfections on the back of the playing cards, gaining an advantage over the house. When the casino discovered this, they refused to pay out his winnings, leading to a legal dispute. The UK courts eventually ruled against Ivey, stating that his actions amounted to cheating under civil law. A similar case occurred with the Borgata Casino in Atlantic City, where Ivey won $9.6 million using the same technique. The courts again ruled against him, ordering him to repay the winnings. The controversy sparked debates about what constitutes cheating versus exploiting an advantage. While Ivey maintained he was using skill and observation, the legal system saw it differently. These incidents, for a short time, tarnished Ivey's reputation for some, but also highlighted the thin lines between skillful play and unethical conduct in gambling. The edge-sorting cases remain a significant chapter in poker history, reminding players and casinos alike of the complexities surrounding game integrity. Tier 3. The PokerStars vs. Full Tilt rivalry and the fall of Rail Heaven. In the mid to late 2000s, online poker was booming, and at the forefront were two giants, PokerStars and Full Tilt Poker. Their rivalry wasn't just about attracting the most players, but also about hosting the highest stakes games online. Rail Heaven was Full Tilt Poker's answer to the demand for nosebleed stakes. It was a $500, $1,000 no-limit Texas Hold'em table where the world's best and wealthiest players battled for pots that often exceeded 6 figures. Icons like Tom Dwan, Phil Ivey, and Patrick Antonius were regulars, and fans would railbird watch the action live, hoping to witness massive pots and legendary plays. However, the glory days of Rail Heaven came to an abrupt end after Black Friday in 2011. With Full Tilt's collapse and legal troubles, the high-stakes games disappeared. The rivalry between PokerStars and Full Tilt fizzled as PokerStars acquired Full Tilt's assets, and the online high-stakes scene was never quite the same. The Durr Challenge. Speaking of Tom Dwan and online high stakes, the Durr Challenge was one of the most talked about events in online poker history. In 2009, Dwan issued an open challenge. He would play anyone heads up over 50,000 hands of no limit hold'em or pot limit Omaha at $200, $400 stakes or higher. If his opponent ended up even $1 ahead after the hands were completed, Dwan would pay them $1.5 million. If Dwan was ahead, he'd collect $500,000. Patrick Antonius and later Dan Jungleman Cates accepted the challenge. While the match with Antonius concluded with Dwan ahead, the challenge with Cates became infamous for its delays. Despite Cates taking a significant lead early on, the challenge stalled and remains unfinished to this day. The Durr Challenge highlighted both the competitive spirit of high-stakes online poker and the logistical difficulties of such long-term matches. Daniel Negreanu vs. Doug Polk grudge match. In 2020, poker pros Daniel Negreanu and Doug Polk faced off in a highly publicized heads-up match stemming from years of personal and professional feuds. The match consisted of 25,000 hands of heads-up no-limit hold'em played online. With over $1 million on the line, fans tuned in to watch the drama unfold live. Polk, known for his expertise in heads-up play and aggressive style, ultimately won, taking over $1.2 million from Negreanu. The match was notable not just for the money, but for the sportsmanship displayed, as both players showed respect despite their previous animosity. Iconic WSOP champions Johnny Chan and Jamie Gold. Johnny Chan, known as the Orient Express, made history by winning back-to-back WSOP Main Event titles in 1987 and 1988, and nearly clinching a third in 1989, finishing second to Phil Hellmuth. Chan's calm demeanor and strategic prowess made him a legend. His final hand in the 1988 main event against Eric Seidel was immortalized in the movie Rounders, cementing his place in poker lore. Jamie Gold, on the other hand, won the 2006 WSOP main event, taking home a record $12 million. His victory was marked by his aggressive play and constant table talk, which some criticized as unethical. Controversies followed, including a lawsuit over his winnings, but his impact on the game during the era is undeniable. The Superuser Scandal. One of the darkest chapters in online poker history involves the Superuser Scandal at Ultimate Bet and Absolute Poker in the mid-2000s. Insiders at these sites exploited security flaws to see other players' hole cards, giving them an unfair advantage. Players noticed suspicious activities, unbelievable calls, and improbable wins, which led to investigations. The scandal revealed that millions of dollars were unfairly won from unsuspecting players. High-profile figures like Russ Hamilton, a former WSOP main event champion, were implicated. The incident shook players' trust in online poker security and led to increased calls for regulation and oversight to protect players. Bill Perkins cross-prop bet with Dan Bilzerian. Entrepreneur and poker enthusiast Bill Perkins is known for his high-stakes prop bets. One notable bet involved social media personality Dan Bilzerian. In 2016, Bilzerian bet that he could bike from Las Vegas to Los Angeles, a distance of about 300 miles, in under 48 hours. Perkins offered $600,000 if Bilzerian succeeded, with Bilzerian risking $1.2 million if he failed. With just a few days of training and assistance from cyclist Lance Armstrong, Bilzerian completed the ride in about 33 hours, winning the bet. These extravagant wagers highlight the adventurous and sometimes outrageous side of poker culture, where players often bet on feats outside the poker table. Isildur I's rise and fall. In 2009, an anonymous Swedish player using the alias Isildur took the online poker world by storm on Full Tilt Poker. Isildur 1 played the highest stakes against the biggest names, engaging in marathon sessions where he would win and lose millions in a single day. His aggressive style and fearless approach captivated fans. He famously won over $5 million from Tom Dwan, but eventually lost significant sums to players like Brian Hastings, Brian Townsend, and Cole South. Controversy arose when it was revealed that these players had shared hand histories to study Isildur 1's strategies, leading to debates about ethics in online poker. Isildur 1 was later revealed to be Victor Blum, who continues to be a respected and formidable player, both online and live. The infamous Jack 4 hand. Now let's dive into one of the most controversial and talked about hands in recent poker history, the Robbie J. Lew vs. Garrett Adelstein hand, famously known as the Jack 4 hand. On September 29th, 2022, during a live-streamed high-stakes cash game on Hustler Casino Live, an extraordinary hand unfolded that left the poker world buzzing. Here's the hand breakdown. The game was no limit Texas Hold'em with blinds at $100, $200, $400. The players involved, Garrett Adelstein, a seasoned high-stake pro, Live at the Bike and HCL regular. The other person involved, Robbie J. Lew, a relatively new face in the high-stakes scene. Pre-flop, Garrett looked down at 8-7 of clubs and raised. Robbie held Jack 4 offsuit and called the raise. Flop comes 10-9-3, 2 hearts. Garrett had an open-ended straight draw. He bet out, and Robbie called with Jack high and no draw. Turn is a 3 of spades. Garrett bet again, applying pressure. Robbie raised, an unexpected move given her hand. Sensing an opportunity, Garrett went all in, representing a strong hand or big draw. Facing an all-in bet for over $100,000 with just Jack high, Robbie thought for a moment and made the call. River is the 9 of spades. The board paired 9s and 3s, and neither player improved. Garrett showed his misdraw. Robbie revealed Jack high, which surprisingly was the best hand. The table was stunned. Garrett was visibly perplexed, trying to comprehend how Robbie could make such a call. He questioned her about the hand, and she gave unclear explanations, mentioning she thought she had ace high. Following the hand, Garrett left the game and later expressed concerns about possible foul play, suggesting that Robbie's call was highly unusual and potentially indicative of cheating. The poker community exploded with theories. Some believed that the call was too implausible without illicit knowledge. Others argued that unconventional plays happen, especially from less experienced players, or due to misreads. Robbie denied any wrongdoing and offered to return the money to Garrett to defuse the situation, which added more fuel to the debate. Hustler Casino Live conducted an internal investigation reviewing footage and security protocols. They found no evidence of cheating. Robbie even volunteered to take a polygraph test, which she passed, though such tests aren't foolproof. No conclusive evidence of wrongdoing was found, and the poker community remained divided. The hand became a case study in variance, psychology, and the complexities of live poker. The Jack 4 hand has become one of the most analyzed hands in poker history. It emphasized the unpredictable nature of the game and sparked important conversations about fairness, ethics, and respect among players. Whether viewed as a moment of amateur unpredictability or a catalyst for discussing deeper issues in poker, the hand undeniably captured the world's attention and will be remembered for years to come. The final tier, Tier 4. The Full Tilt Poker Collapse. One of the most significant and controversial events in poker history is the collapse of Full Tilt Poker. This incident not only shook the online poker world, but also involved some of the game's most prominent figures, including Howard Lederer, Chris Ferguson, and connections to high-stakes player Guy Laliberte. Here's some background on the company. Founded in 2004, Full Tilt Poker quickly became one of the leading online poker platforms. It was renowned for its slogan, "Learn, chat, and play with the pros," featuring top players like Howard Lederer, Chris Ferguson, and Phil Ivey as both ambassadors and stakeholders. On April 15, 2011, a day known in the poker community as Black Friday, the U.S. Department of Justice unsealed indictments against major online poker sites, including Full Tilt Poker. The charges encompass bank fraud, money laundering, and illegal gambling offenses. While all the sites faced severe consequences, Full Tilt Poker was uniquely impacted. The U.S. government alleged that the company operated a, quote, global Ponzi scheme, failing to segregate player funds from operational expenses. This mismanagement resulted in approximately $390 million owed to players, with only about $60 million in actual funds available. Howard Lederer, known as the Professor, was a key executive and board member of Full Tilt Poker. The Department of Justice accused him of mismanaging funds and improperly distributing millions to himself and other owners while the company was insolvent. Chris Ferguson, a 5-time WSOP bracelet winner and fellow board member, faced similar allegations regarding the misallocation of players' funds and receiving substantial payments during the company's financial decline. Both Lederer and Ferguson settled their civil cases with the DOJ without admitting wrongdoing. The settlements included the forfeiture of certain assets, but did not involve any criminal charges. While not involved in the management of Full Tilt Poker, Guy Laliberte, the billionaire founder of Cirque du Soleil, was a significant high-stakes player on the platform, Reports suggest that he lost millions playing online, contributing to the massive funds circulating on the site. His losses highlighted the enormous sums involved and added another layer to the site's complex financial narrative. The collapse left thousands of players unable to access their funds. For many professionals, this meant losing significant portions of their bankrolls overnight. The lack of communication and uncertainty led to widespread frustration and distrust within the poker community. In 2012, PokerStars reached a settlement with the DOJ, agreeing to pay $731 million. Part of this agreement included acquiring Full Tilt Poker's assets and repaying affected players outside the United States. The U.S. government took responsibility for reimbursing American players, a process that took several years to complete. The scandal prompted a reevaluation of how online poker sites handle player funds. The importance of financial transparency and proper segregation of accounts became a focal point for regulators and players alike. New regulations and licensing requirements were implemented in various jurisdictions to prevent similar occurrences. The Full Tilt Poker collapse remains a cautionary tale about the risks of inadequate financial management and the potential consequences when trust is broken. It significantly impacted the reputations of those involved and reshaped the online poker industry's landscape. While the dust has settled, the echoes of Full Tilt's downfall continued to influence the poker world. The incident underscored the need for stringent oversight and reinforced the principle that safeguarding players' funds is paramount for the integrity and sustainability of the game. High-stakes private games and underground poker games. The allure of poker isn't confined to casinos and online platforms. It also thrives in the shadows of high-stakes private games and underground circles. This clandestine world was famously depicted in Molly's Game, both a memoir and a film that shed light on these exclusive gatherings. Molly Bloom, a former Olympic-level skier, moved to Los Angeles and found herself organizing some of the most exclusive high-stakes poker games for Hollywood elites, businessmen, and celebrities. The buy-ins were astronomical, often reaching hundreds of thousands of dollars. While names were altered in her account, it's widely speculated that actors like Tobey Maguire, Ben Affleck, and Leonardo DiCaprio were among the regulars. The games attracted a who's who of A-list celebrities and wealthy individuals seeking both competition and the thrill of discretion. The invitation-only nature of these games created an atmosphere of prestige. Away from prying eyes, participants could play without public scrutiny. On top of that, the substantial buy-ins and pots added to the adrenaline and allure. Molly's operation eventually caught the attention of federal authorities due to connections with illegal activities, including ties to the Russian mob and money laundering concerns. In 2013, she was arrested and charged with running an illegal gambling ring. Facing significant legal consequences, Molly refused to divulge information about her players, which garnered respect from some quarters, but did not absolve her of legal responsibility. She eventually pleaded guilty to reduced charges and was sentenced to probation and community service. Molly's Game highlighted both the allure and the inherent risk of underground poker. The story underscores the potential legal ramifications of participating in or organizing unregulated events. The narrative captivated the public, offering a glimpse into a secretive world rarely seen by outsiders. The tale of Molly Bloom and her high-stakes games serve as a compelling chapter in poker history. It illustrates the lengths to which individuals will go for the love of the game and the extreme environments in which poker can thrive. While fascinating, it also serves a reminder of the importance of legality and regulation in gambling activities. The role of GTO poker. In the ever-evolving landscape of poker strategy, game theory optimal play has emerged as a cornerstone concept in recent years, especially among high-level players. GTO refers to a strategy that is mathematically balanced and unexploitable. It involves making decisions that over the long run cannot be taken advantage of by opponents, regardless of their actions. As players become more skilled, exploiting mistakes becomes harder. GTO provides a baseline strategy that is robust against any opponent. The rise of poker solvers and advanced software has made studying GTO strategies accessible. Players can analyze optimal plays in various scenarios. At the highest levels, where opponents are equally skilled, deviating from GTO can be costly. While GTO provides a solid foundation, many players still incorporate exploitative strategies to maximize profits against specific opponents. Understanding GTO allows players to recognize when opponents deviate, creating opportunities to exploit those tendencies. The best players blend GTO principles with adjustments based on live reads and game dynamics. GTO has impacted the game in the following ways. Modern poker requires a deeper understanding of complex strategies. Players invest time in studying simulations and solver outputs. It's raised the skill ceiling and the skill gap. Modern poker requires a deeper understanding of complex strategies. It's changed training methods, players invest time in studying simulations and solver outputs, and it's also influenced tournament play. GTO concepts are particularly prevalent in heads-up and shorthanded situations. GTO poker represents the cutting edge of poker theory. While it doesn't guarantee success, especially in unpredictable live environments, it's an essential tool for serious players aiming to compete at the highest levels. Postlegate 2019. One of the most shocking and debated controversies in recent poker history is Postlegate, centered around player Mike Postle and allegations of cheating during livestream cash games at Stone's Gambling Hall in California. In 2019, suspicions arose when Veronica Brill, a fellow player and commentator, noticed that Mike Postle was making remarkably accurate decisions, often in high-stakes situations with weak hands. Over numerous sessions, Postle consistently posted win rates that defied statistical norms. Here are the key points of concern around Postle. Unprecedented success. Postle reportedly won nearly every session over an extended period, amassing significant profits. His unusual gameplay. He often made unorthodox plays that, in retrospect, proved optimal, including hero calls and bluffs that seemed improbable without additional information. There also were some physical cues. Observers noted that Postle frequently looked at his phone or device in his lap during hands, raising suspicions that he might be receiving real-time data. All of this got so many people interested that the community started an investigation of their own, led by Joey Ingram. Joey conducted in-depth reviews of archived footage, highlighting suspicious hands and patterns. Together, the community analyzed the statistical anomalies, and those analyses showed that Postle's win rate and decision-making deviated significantly from even the best professional standards in the world. A group of affected players filed a lawsuit against Mike Postle, Stone's Gambling Hall, and others, alleging fraud, negligence, and unjust enrichment. They sought restitution for the losses incurred during the alleged cheating. Stone's Gambling Hall responded with an internal investigation and initially stated that they found no evidence of wrongdoing by Postle. Stone's maintained that their security measures were adequate and that the allegations were unfounded. In 2020, a federal judge dismissed most of the charges against Postle and Stone's Gambling Hall, citing California's laws that limit legal recourse for gambling losses. While the case against Postle was dismissed, Stone's Gambling Hall reached a settlement with some of the plaintiffs. The terms were not publicly disclosed. Mike Postle has consistently denied any wrongdoing, attributing his success to skill and intuition. He refrained from making extensive public comments but maintained his innocence. The incident raised serious concerns about the integrity of live-stream poker games and the potential for cheating. There was a push for improved security protocols, including delayed broadcast, restricted access to whole card information, and better monitoring of electronic devices. The collective effort to investigate the allegations demonstrated the poker community's commitment to protecting the game's integrity. To this day, the Postlegate scandal remains a topic of discussion and debate within the poker world. While no criminal charges were filed against Postle, the court of public opinion remains divided. Postlegate serves as a stark reminder of the vulnerabilities that can exist in poker, especially with the advent of technology in live games. It underscores the importance of transparency, rigorous security measures, and the role the community plays in upholding the integrity of the game we love. That is the Poker Iceberg. I wanted to make this video because, again, like I said in the beginning, I hadn't seen anyone make any kind of video even close to comparison to what you just watched just now. I've been a fan of poker for pretty much my entire life. It's pretty deeply ingrained with my family, and started making poker content in 2019. I ended up finding myself working with Poker Flops, which is the channel you're watching this now, and I've dedicated my life to it. It's a huge part of me, like I've said, and really I just want to spread my love for the game in an effort to hopefully have some other people that just find poker and give it a try. I think a lot of the media around poker now is pretty geared to people already interested in poker. It seems like such a mountain to climb just to get into it, when really it's not. It's a social game at its core. I like to compare it to golf. It's you spend some hours at a table and you're doing one thing, but really you're talking to the people you're playing with and building relationships and hearing stories and in general just being around people who have a common interest as you. A lot of people also make poker a lot more complicated than it needs to be. You don't need to be a poker pro to play. At the end of the day, we are gambling. Of course, there's skill involved, but unless you're at a final table of a huge event, then you can get by with basic strategy and still have a good time and probably be break even. I like playing poker not for the money, but again, just for the competitiveness and like I said, just being around people who also enjoy the game. There's really a lost generation of poker. I feel a lot of people my age, I'm 24, and it's not as popular as it should be in my mind. And so yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope if you haven't seen anything within poker, this starts you on the path of getting involved and trying it out for yourself. Fun game. I think everybody should play it. And I think it should be a lot larger than it is today. And I hope this helps grow it. So yeah, hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.